Hare Krishna, Gauranga, all glories to the Transcendental Sankirtan and the book distributors. So we're on the last day of the marathon, and all the devotees have probably made incredible, stellar efforts to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books throughout the last month. And I was thinking that one thing is very important, is that the Sankirtan spirit continues. And I remember some really fantastic methods that devotees used to use. Like, for example, where I was brought up in the ISKCON Scotland temple, the marathon used to go on for 2 months. In the early days. And eventually the marathon used to go on at least, in the World Sankirtan, actually, in the worldwide marathon, the marathon goes on for 1 whole month. So even right through the New Year week as well, which is also quite a really special week. After the Christmas comes the New Year weekend usually, and that's also a very, busy and very amazing Sankirtan effort on the street, if you continue on. And some temples do things like sprints, where they'll do a week sprint in the middle of, like the winter sprint, New Year sprint and things like that, just to keep that Sankirtan spirit going. Because actually, this Sankirtan movement, this marathon, is not 25 days. It's a long distance marathon. Because this is the idea, actually. A marathon means whatever it is, like 25 miles or something, and you get half marathons, or you get sprints, or you get 500 meters, or you get whatever it is. So the marathon, the concept of the word marathon means it's a longer run. So we're on the lifetime marathon. We're long distance runners. So that means whether or not your long distance ability is 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 365, or you're, once a week, once a month, whatever it is, but nonetheless, it's the long game. We're playing for the long game. And why? Because this Sankirtan is so special. It is the Yuga Dharma, along with book distribution, and of course the Harinam, the Kirtan party going on. It's the complete package. Yeah, everything is there. This is as good as it gets, right? This is the juice, And just as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in his Shikshastikam, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairva Chandra Kavitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritasvadanam Sarvapma Snapanam Param Vajayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. I just had a lecture from Srila Prabhupada there, one of his arrival addresses, and he said, Lord Chaitanya is giving all empowerment. He's giving all the blessings in this, in this Shikshastikam prayers. And one of the things that, this Param Vajayati Shri Krishna, all the glory is in the Shri Krishna Sankirtan. Yeah? All the mercy is in this Shri Krishna Sankirtan. Why? Because one, it cleanses the heart. Prabhupada says the heart needs to be cleaned. Yeah? So it cleanses the heart. And of course also, one thing is that Lord Chaitanya says that this Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large. The prime benediction, meaning there's no higher, there's no, this way, that way. This is it. This is the principal sadhana. And it is the number one goal as well, to perfect our lives in Sankirtan. And why? Because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon, the merciful rays of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his bringing Krishna Prema to the material world is achieved and connected to through this Sankirtan process, which in our ISKCON society, in our Hare Krishna movement, contains not only just the Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan, but the book distribution aspect as well. Perfect double combo. And in other wonderful things in there, like prasadam distribution, leaflets to the festivals, follow up, and devotee care, these kind of things, japa seminars, Grihastha ashram retreats, brahmachari retreats, all these things help enhance the Sankirtan journey. Every single activity we do day to day can be Sankirtan. But just as Prabhupada used to tell, when Prabhupada came to one temple, he said everybody should immediately go. 2 pujaris stay back, everybody go. Yeah. So Prabhupada also wanted that we externally, everybody should go as much as possible to join the Sankirtan party. So then it says, it is the life of all transcendental knowledge. Yeah, it is the life. So Srila Prabhupada, he used to always say that, all the yagyas are only complete if the holy name is there. Yeah, every time now you see a big samskar, some Nrsimha Homa, or what it is, like what's it called, the Vivaha samskar, the marriage samskar, or the hair cutting, or the Anaprashana grain ceremony, whatever it is all complete if the holy name is chanted throughout the process. Yeah, this is the only way it can actually be purified in this Kali Yuga age. So it is the life of the transcendental knowledge. The knowledge is there, transcendental knowledge. In the chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying this transcendental knowledge is so sublime. He's saying it's freeing us from our problems, it's purifying us from our sinful reactions, and so on and so forth. But the life of that transcendental knowledge is this holy name, is this Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan. Yeah? And I keep stressing that point, just as Ayendra Prabhu would say, Yuga Dharma. Yeah? The Yuga Dharma isn't, the Yuga Dharma isn't anything else. I won't get into what specifically he said the Yuga Dharma wasn't, but certainly the Yuga Dharma is the chanting of the holy name congregationally, which is perfected with this combo of book distribution because it's book kirtan. Yeah? And we know that the highest mood of the gopis is actually seeing the pleasure of others connecting to Krishna. I heard this the other day listening to one of Ayendra Prabhu's classes. I had an iPod with, some 10,000, one of the old iPods, 160 gigabytes, with like 10,000 or some 12,000 songs, like songs and lectures and different things, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Radhanath Swami, different speakers, And as can happen with these kind of things, if you pull the plug the wrong way, I don't know, I had it in the car and it got wiped, lost everything. All Srila Prabhupada lectures, all Ayendra Prabhu kirtans, everything, So, of course, my prime sadhana in the house is Ayendra Prabhu's kirtans. Re-downloaded all of them. And I just downloaded his lectures again as well, and I've been working my way through again for like the 3rd time now, And of course, he's so much into this, talking about manjaris and Radharani Tattva and this kind of thing. And he was saying that this mood of the gopis is actually that they're happy, even more happy when they see another gopi or another devotee serving Radharani or serving Krishna. So it's not even that, they're just looking to get that perfection for themselves. They can achieve even that bliss, even more so by saying, okay, you can serve. And this is one of the famous shlokas from the Gopi Gita, is this Tavakatam Ritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibir Iditam Kalmasapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatatam Bhuvigranati Buridajanaha. This is what they're saying, that this serving Krishna and spreading the message of Krishna is that highest thing. So the gopis are at the topmost spiritual level, inconceivable to us in the level of sadhana bhakti. But they're saying spreading Krishna consciousness is the goal, This is what it's all about. And getting others to connect to Krishna. So let's try to continue going into 2023. And usually I know there's a big lull. What happens, I remember myself when I was a brahmachari distributing books from the manor and so on and so forth, that when you hit January and February, everybody had spent all their money, it was really quiet, the streets were really empty and no one was, everybody was like, oh, I blew it all at New Year, or I blew it all at Christmas presents and this thing, or everybody goes on holiday to escape the weather or whatever it is. But just keep going, keep the sacred street parties going, keep that fire going, keep that renewed effort going. Meet together for the Sankirtan festivals and plan the year ahead. One of the things that Vaisheshika Prabhu always talks about in his lectures is that if you want to double, triple, quadruple the scores, you have to do good planning. Yeah, and as soon as good planning comes, then everything goes up. Yeah, before it was just going, going, working hard, and that's fine. The scores will be there. You're working hard. You do good Sankirtan, but when you start when you start the planning, yeah, and you start thinking, then, you start rocketing forward. You start getting the devotees involved in different initiatives and so on and so forth, and then it all takes off. The Sankirtan just really takes off. And in that sense, it becomes a whole different ball game altogether, because the devotees are fully connected and fully united. And I've seen this myself in this yatra that I'm living in, this Leicester yatra. The devotees have all, throughout the whole entire year, actually consistently, they show up at the Sacred Street Party, and they're all on board with distributing books and doing Harinam and this thing, And of course, for the marathon, they all stepped up that extra gear as well. So, what more can you ask for? But Srila Prabhupada would ask for more. Srila Prabhupada would say, yeah, double it, triple it, So let's jump into 2023 and let's try to really do something even more far out. Because as I said, the Sankirtan doesn't stop. Sankirtan is your life. Sankirtan is the blood of a devotee. Yeah? It is the center of, it is the linchpin, the central pin that's holding everything up. Yeah? One of the key, most important things that will keep a devotee alive in Krishna consciousness is to that degree that he's attached to Sankirtan. And that may mean just sitting down in front of your personal deities, with your harmonium, with your mridanga, whatever it is that you play or don't play. If you just sing, and just sing for a few hours and just sing to the Lord. Get together with your friends, chant, and then plan to go out. Plan to take some of your local devotees out around the doors, or into the shopping centre, into the city centre, the walking street as they used to call it. A lot of the European Sankirtan devotees would call it the walking street. So get out into the walking street and distribute some books. And specifically, again, everybody goes there and does it, but make that point to try and say, okay, it is good just to touch the street, but I'm actually going to distribute a few books. I am going to distribute a few books to some nice people. And let's see what happens. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, ISKCON Guru Vrinda ki jai, Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Mo.